Hey, what's up, folks? Lifetime Longhorn Rod Babers here, of course, joined by the coach, former high school football coach at Belton, Rotan, also Brownwood, Capel and Burnett. Also was a college football player at Abilene Christian, coached there in multiple stints, and of course was on the staff at the University of Texas for multiple head coaches. It is Coach Bob Shipley. What's going on, Coach? How you doing?
Hey, doing good. Enjoying a little cooler weather this week.
Yeah, that's right. A little bit hints of fall, right? Little hints of fall.
Yeah, a little rain out here in West Texas this week. It's been a good week.
Nice. Also a good week because the Longhorns rolled over Colorado State. Quickly, I'll get Coach's thoughts about what Texas did versus Colorado State, but of course, most of the conversation will be about Texas' upcoming matchup versus the Michigan Wolverines on the road in the Big House. We won't overcomplicate it. We'll just talk about keys to the game because I know everybody's giddy about this matchup, and there's so many great storylines and so many great layers to it. So we'll just go keys to the game, and Coach and I will just talk ball for about 20 minutes or so and dive deep into it. But before we do that, we got to make sure that we thank our fantastic sponsor of Football Theory. Really excited that Underdog Fantasy has become the new sponsor of Football Theory. It's time for you to get in the game, folks. That's right. Football season is here. Underdog Fantasy is the best place to play fantasy sports. How does it work? It's really simple, really easy. I got the app on my phone. You just download the Underdog app or go online. It takes almost no time at all. It's really simple, really easy, and really fun. You can play their pick 'em game. I can make picks really easy, submit them, and it takes me, 60 to 90 seconds to do it. Really pain free. But if I want to dive deep and go down a rabbit hole about some of those picks, I can do that too. You guys know I got the research. I can dig deeper, and I can make up to 325 times my money. That's the real important thing about Underdog. Underdog adds a ton of excitement to the sports viewing experience, especially for football, which is why I personally love it. But you'll love it too. They got lots of great opportunities for sports of every kind. And the best part is you can track your progress real time. Today, Underdog is hooking you up for the start of football season. You can go to underdogfantasy.com. Use the promo code ONTEXAS. That's right. Use the promo code ONTEXAS for a first deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash plus a free pick. That's right. They also have an additional site-wide Travis Kelce free pick, all right, that you'll be able to take advantage of until the kickoff of the NFL season, which kicks off tomorrow. Again, underdogfantasy.com. Use the promo code ONTEXAS right now for a free deposit offer up to $1,000 and 2 free picks if you count that Travis Kelce free pick. That's Underdog Fantasy, our choice and the choice for daily fantasy. All right, Coach. First, I would get your thoughts just overall about the Texas basically butt whipping that they put on Colorado State. Got the goose egg, got the shutouts, 52-0. What were your overall thoughts about the product that we saw from Texas football this past weekend?
Well, first of all, I'm going to start with the secondary because that's been a point of contention for me.
Yep.
But I thought they played really well. I thought I really liked the lineup. I liked the way they showed some new looks. I liked the way we played some 3 deep, played some dime. I don't see us doing that, against Michigan, but I do like the fact that we're going to show multiple looks defensively.
Yep.
And with a guy like Jahdae Barron, where, he's already publicly said, Coach Sark, that this guy is going to be all over the field. He can play anywhere. And so it's going to be really hard for offenses to get a peg on him and how he's working into the game plan each week.
Mm-hmm.
So defensively, I was pleased for the most part. I thought we were a little bit soft sometimes on the interior, but overall I was pleased. Offensively, first half offensive line, I felt like blocked as well as I wanted to see them block for the first game of the season. But as the game went on, we seemed to take better control, and of course we're running guys in and out, and getting a lot of players in the game, and that's good, and basically got away injury free. So that's got to be the top of the list. But
yep.
I think we saw some maturity and some experience with Quinn that we haven't seen as much of, that we talked about in the offseason. We want to see better pocket presence. We want to see him step up in the pocket more, and not get caught up in the rush while keeping his eyes trying to keep his eyes downfield. And I thought he did a better job of that. And again, when you look at players, Jahdae Cook is who I thought he was. At least he certainly showed it in that game. And, then, of course, Ryan Wingo is who I thought he was.
Yeah.
It's just one game. But you can't hear that many superlatives about a guy every single day in practice and not have some pretty high expectations. And he did not disappoint.
No doubt about it. I mean, he's better than advertised. I actually saw a Pro Football Focus rating that had him as the highest graded player on offense for Texas, number one, but also the highest graded freshman wide receiver in the country too. So he's special. There's no doubt about it. And that guy, and I think there are a lot of things that stood out. You brought up Quinn Ewers and his maturity. I mean, the no-look pass, I think, obviously comes to mind for folks. But I'm with you. I saw him manipulating defenders with his eyes and his feet. I think that's something new we hadn't seen, and that you're going to need that in the Michigan game. But, yeah, the depth at wide receiver and the talent there it really is impressive. I mean, and I think they all have a role, right? And Ryan Wingo led you in yards and yak yards. Bond led you in receptions and targets. Matthew Golden led you in touchdowns. He was your red zone weapon. And then Jahdae Cook led you in yards per reception and in, I think, the longest play of the day. I think he had like 40 yards. It really did seem like it all worked together. I mean, there was a ton of synchronicity to it. That is a really scary. And then we talk about Silas Bowden, who also scored a touchdown via the foot pass there from Arch Manning when he was improvising. So yeah, offensively, lot to really be excited about and optimistic about. And I think ultimately this is the game where we'll see. A couple of the questions were about, did we get enough push from the offensive line in the run game, and did the interior defensive line, did they get enough penetration and push, or were they stout enough against Colorado State? And there are some Longhorn fans I know that they were concerned about those two areas coming out of a 52-0 win, and I think that was valid. We'll see, Coach. There'll be, if those concerns are actually issues, they will be exposed versus Michigan. That we can be sure about, and we'll know. So I want to get to something, Coach, that you brought up, and I think it'll help us transition to the conversation and the matchup versus Michigan. Jahdae Barron, and I've been on the record. I've said they got to move Jahdae Barron around, matchup wise, based on the opponent and based on their weaknesses, their strengths, and whatever you're trying to accomplish and achieve. You should move him around. He's a movable chess piece. And I said that's how he's going to win the Thorpe. If you want to, or be a finalist for the Thorpe, win the Thorpe is hard. That's hard to do. Be a finalist for the Thorpe. You want to be a finalist for the Thorpe, you need a story to tell. People need to have a story about you, because, yeah, you can make plays, but you got to make plays in big games. And I think the storyline helps when you're trying to promote and market a player. He played cornerback and nickel in that game versus Colorado State, trying to help them match up with Torrey Horton when they were kind of moving Torrey Horton around and doing some of those things. He got the great pick that'll be on his draft reel. But the Michigan passing game, I think this is a perfect segue. I don't know did you watch that Fresno State Michigan game, Coach?
Yes, some of it.
Oh man. Well, just like everybody else who watched that game, that the Michigan passing attack leaves a lot to be desired. And I mean, the quarterback Davis Warren averaged 4.7 yards per attempt. Jared Gibson and Jaden Blue averaged more than that on the ground in yards per rush. And here's one of the things. And now they do have a weapon that they will funnel the passing game through. This is where I want to start with the Jahdae Barron take. Colston Loveland. He's the tight end for him. He'll probably be the first tight end drafted. He's a first round potential tight end. I mean, he's a dude, Coach. He's the real deal. And he had 8 catches in that game. He had 9 targets, 8 catches. By the way, the one target that he didn't catch was a drop. So that was it. That was on him. But he had 8 receptions for 87 yards, Coach. He had 5 first downs or touchdowns. So 4 first downs and a touchdown on those 8 receptions. He had a 20-yard reception. By the way, Michigan's got 2 20-yard plays on offense this season. I'm talking about on offense, period, the entire offense. and one of them is Loveland. The rest of the offense had 80. He had 8 receptions for 87 yards. The rest of the offense had 8 receptions for 34 yards. When to me, he is the one you got to stop. They funnel everything through him because they don't want it. They're a run first offense. They want to be a run oriented offense. They only pass when they need to and when they have to. And I think that's part of the game plan, coach. You want to take that run game away and force those quarterbacks to beat you because I don't think they can. And when you do stop the run, let's assume you stop the run, plan for success. You need to have a plan to stop him. And I think Jahdae Barron may be the piece because maybe he's matched up on him if he's at a safety at times or if he's at a nickel, depending on what the formation is and where they have Loveland. Maybe you can have Jahdae if he starts to make plays. You can move Jahdae Barron around and put him on Loveland and go your dude on they dude because that's where they're funneling the passing game through. There's no question.
Yeah. I think we're probably well aware of that, and we'll have all eyes on him, especially 3rd and 5 and 3rd and 8, where they've got to have a first down. He's the obvious guy they're going to try to, so try if he's lined up on the line of scrimmage, try to disrupt his route, try to get him off his route if you can, and keep him covered up because the passes that they throw to him are not, it's not like the quarterback needs a lot of time to throw them. Yeah, but he's definitely a key for us. If we don't stop the running game, it doesn't matter.
You're right. Don't matter.
We're going to do everything we can to stop the running game. But if you can stop the running game and stop him, now you got a winning game plan.
You're right, Coach. I skipped ahead. I skipped ahead a step because I want to talk about Jahdae Barron and how you can match him up. And by the way, if Jahdae Barron does move around and you deploy him successfully, matching up against Loveland on crucial plays, and he makes plays, there's your Thorpe Award narrative right there. Boom, there it is.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, then you can let it kind of help create itself. But Coach, starting with the first step, I skipped ahead to the second step. All right, you got to earn the right to be able to stop Loveland. What are your thoughts about how Texas will stop the run? Do you just sell out? Do you just sell out and stop it and invite them to throw the football?
Yeah, I would. I would not let him have easy targets to the tight end. But other than that, I would load up to stop the run, and we talk about it every week. Make them beat you left-handed, make them beat you in a way they're not comfortable doing, and I think that's what we need to do. I think we need to play our safeties tighter, and we not go as much nickel. Although might give Jahdae a chance just to be free, and just be where the tight end is. Maybe catch some any trash that spills or breaks through on a run. Have that supporting cast there ready to take the scraps. Anything that gets through, we got to have somebody there. We can't let them run in wide open spaces. Yeah,
no, I'm with you on that. I would trust my DBs to hold up against their wide receivers and their pass attack. I'm with you, Coach. I'd have a plan for Loveland. All right, have a plan for him. A plan to stop the run, plan for Loveland. Honestly, the rest of the guys, I would trust. They got to win one-on-ones. You got to win one-on-ones against Michigan's wide receivers because Michigan's wide receivers don't make a lot of plays in the passing game. Michigan's had 10. They had versus Fresno State 10 plays of 10+ yards. Is what I count here. That's what they had on offense. 6 of those came in the passing game. 4 of those came in the running game. Out of the 6 in the passing game, Coach, 4 of them were to Loveland. Right? And his average depth of target, like you said, they get it out quick to him, 6 yards. So the average yardage that he turns around and gets the target is 6 yards. It caught quick, and then they make some plays from there. So I'm with you. I think you have a plan for Loveland, and then you can depend on the rest of your guys to win their one-on-ones. I doubt Michigan will take a lot of shots, but they have to take some shots to just figure out a way to move the ball vertically down the field via the passing game. The other stat that I had, which is kind of mind-blowing, Coach Davis Warren, the quarterback for them, when he was targeting any players more than 10 yards down the field, He was 1 of 5. He had an interception, and he had for 10 yards. It was one completion was for 10 yards, and of course, it was to Loveland, of course. So I don't think if you don't really have a high level sophisticated passing game in this day and age, which Michigan does not. And by the way, that's not their identity, so they don't really care about that. I don't know how they're going to move the football via the passing game or threaten Texas vertical and make Texas pay for loading the box. The way you make a team pay for loading the box is I got one-on-ones on the outside. All right, we're going to take shots. Your guys better be some dogs and some dudes. And I think if they take shots against Texas, Texas can win those battles because I don't think they have the wide receivers outside. But maybe that's arrogance on my part. How do you think Michigan will try to counter Texas loading up and selling out to stop the run, which I think they will too?
Yeah, I think they'll certainly test us, especially if we have success stopping the run. But I don't like I said, I would start out a little heavy in the box, but don't oversell anything. Just see how the ebb and flow of the game goes. You know, they haven't had that much success, but they are the returning national champions, and they do have some cats that know how to make some plays on that team. So, you know, they're gonna hit some shots. I just feel like they will. If we're playing, I'm not sure what kind of coverage we'll be playing with stacking the box. If we'll be in more man, if they're going to be doing rub stuff, if we're going to be able to, you know, getting the pressure on the quarterback before they go to double move stuff. I don't know what their answer to that's going to be, but I sure like our chances if we can stop the run. That's a big if. That's a big if. Our interior linemen they're going to have to really step up, and we have to run some guys in and out. Thankfully, it's going to be a day. It's not going to be as hot, but we're still going to have to run some guys in and out to keep a fresh unit up front, because eventually, as you know, you keep pounding at somebody, you're going to wear them down eventually.
Yeah, and to me, that's why I think it honestly could come down to, you know, if Texas can have enough explosive plays in this game, because I think for Texas, honestly, they want to turn this into a track meet offensively, and they want to test Michigan on the perimeter, stay away from those two big D tackles inside. I think Texas comes out throwing the football early, throw to open up the run, and I think they can wear Michigan out a little bit that way, and then pound the rock late in the game. One of the things that I've noticed about Michigan, early on is, they didn't use a lot of play action in that Fresno State game. I think that's something they use early on, Coach. I think they had play action on three of their passing snaps. I think they threw about 26 times. I believe it was 3 times they actually used play action. So it tells me they use a lot more play action against Texas, and they use it early, especially if you're selling out to stop the run. And I didn't see it a lot in the Fresno State game, because I'm assuming they would try to keep some cards close to the vest. Something else I think they'll try is the double moves. I think they'll try a double move, because Texas is going to be manned up on the outside, and Texas is going to be really aggressive, I'm assuming, playing either underneath routes, or if they play bump and run, that's still really aggressive. Double moves work really well. The out, the slant, the hitch, they all become a hitch and go, an out and up, and a slant and go. And that's a way to open up, to give a quarterback who's not really accurate and not a great, high-level elite quarterback, which Davis Warren is not, to give him a wide window, because a cornerback will bite on the fake, or he'll slip and fall, and you can potentially get an easy chunk yardage play downfield. I see some of that. I don't know if I see trick plays from Michigan. I don't know. I think I see a double move or two, and like a stalk block and go, the screen and go. I see some of that early on, potentially to take advantage of how aggressive Texas is going to be, because I think Texas is going to be aggressive early in stopping that run game.
Yeah. Well, if I'm Michigan, I'm also going to try to throw some lateral screens, some stuff. If we are kind of stacking the box, try to get those guys out in more open spaces and loosen up that Texas defense a little bit. Play action pass again is something you look to when people are stacking the box. Try to get those linebackers coming in for the run and hitting a tight end or somebody behind where the linebackers should have been dropping, but they couldn't drop because they saw play action. So the play action and screens are things that I look for them to try to offset Texas stacking in the interior to stop the run. But, that's just my opinion. I'm going to go back to another one of my old opinions that I think would fire me up if we win the coin toss and Sark said, we want the ball.
Take the ball.
We want the ball. We're going to go score. We're going to light it up. We're going to be all over you before you know what. Now, without a passing game, it's going to be more difficult for them to stay up with us, especially if we're hitting big chunks. So I say you get some good high percentage passes, not necessarily high percentage in being short passes, but high percentage schemes that are going to work against what they do defensively, and started giving. Again, I love it, man. Get them to start going,
like that.
And we take the ball down the field and score. We ain't coming up here to mess around. We want the ball first right out of the box. We're going to take it down the field and score. Now, what are you going to do? And it won't take but 2 or 3 series of that for Michigan to start. If we have some success doing that, for Michigan to stay in this game.
Yeah, I'm with you, because once you get a lead on them, their offense is not really geared toward playing, a shootout or playing catch up in that manner. Their defense keeps them in really tight games, and they limit possessions with their offense, and they try to ground you and ground and pound you into submission in the fourth quarter and wear you down. And I think Texas is suited to be able to deal with that. I still think explosive play is going to be big. I go back to the Bill Walsh quote from his book, Finding the Winning Edge, that he said about explosive plays, that a team that wins the explosive play margin by 1 play wins the game 60% of the time. You win it by 2 or more plays, then you won the game 80% of the time. I think this is one of those games, because I think the Michigan defense is really good. So if they give up a few explosive plays, I think so far Michigan has allowed 12 plays of 10-plus yards. That was in that game versus Fresno State. And they allowed 2 plays of 20-plus yards. Texas defense actually is one of 8 teams that has not allowed a 20-plus play so far, because they did not allow a 20-plus play to Colorado State. And they only allowed 4 plays of 10-plus yards, Coach. I think 2 of those were via the pass, 2 of those were via the run. If Texas can like I said, I think Michigan's going to struggle anyway to get explosive plays via the pass. But if you can limit them from being able to get chunky yardage plays in the run game and limit them on first down specifically, this is one of those games where first down means so much. Because if Michigan's in second and long and third and long, their playbook shrinks. There's significant shrinkage, Coach, because that's not what they want to do. And they know their quarterbacks are limited. So first down, you got to win. And that concerns me, because I think Michigan's coaches know that. And that's when you get the funky stuff like you're talking about, Coach. You get the play action on the first down, and then they start to, throw you off with some of the play calling, because maybe they go with some early, maybe they break tendency and go with some early down passes and open up the run game a little bit with that. I have no idea how they're going to do it, but it can't go according to the script every time. Because if it does, I think Texas has the advantage in this matchup.
Yeah. I think we've been discussing the best case scenarios, really. Worst case scenario is if Michigan is able to pound the ball on us, move it at will. That does a lot of things. It keeps your defense out there. It keeps your defense tired. It deflates your defense. It puts more pressure on the offense, because you're not going to get the ball as many times if they're able to control the ground game. And become patient and some things down the field, being able to play our game. So what we want to try to get them out of their rhythm and get them out of what they do best. Obviously, they want to try to get us out of our rhythm and get us out of what we do best. And the best thing they can do is keep the ball away from us. And the way they keep the ball away from us is by moving the chains. Running the ball, moving the chains, going slow, not going fast, just knocking time off the clock and just controlling the game while they can. That's the worst case scenario for us, in my opinion. because it keeps us from doing what we want to do. And we're like thoroughbreds, man. We're like snorting at the gate, ready for that bell to go off so the race starts, and we're on the sidelines and we can't get out there and show our stuff, so it starts getting, you start getting impatient as players. And I hope our coaches don't get impatient. If that in fact is what happens and Michigan is able to move the ball on us effectively down the field, almost at will, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, if Michigan can run the football successfully, especially winning on first downs that way, Texas may be forced to play Michigan game rather than playing Texas style of game. And that's not what you think for. And it kind of comes down to me is, because I'm not sure Texas can run the ball. Speaking of the run game, I'm not sure they can run the ball effectively, consistently versus this Michigan front. I'll give Michigan a lot of credit. Best D tackle duo in the country, coach. Josiah Stewart's an NFL player on the edge. They got some guys, man. I'm not sure Texas can run the ball consistently, especially with some of the losses they've had in the backfield with C.J. Baxter and Christian Clark. So this game to me is a Quinn Ewers game. I think ultimately Texas may have to lean even more on the passing game, not necessarily vertical passes downfield, but lean on the passing game earlier and lean into the passing game, opening up the run game for you and forcing him to respect the passing game and all the weapons, and then ultimately being able to break through in the run game. And if that's going to be the case, it's all about how Quinn handles pressure. He was only pressured twice versus Colorado State, but those two plays, coach, that was the interception and the other one was the sack. So they may not get to Quinn very often. His average time to throw versus Colorado State was 2.17 seconds. So they may not get to him if he's on time and in rhythm, but that's the Kim Kardashian, Nicki Minaj, Serena Williams size, Cardi B size, but is if Wink Martindale gets pressure, and he does that, coach, that's his expertise, creating pressure, how does Quinn respond? And if he responds positively, which I think he will and can, of course, then Texas wins this game, and they actually may win by a sizable margin. But if he doesn't respond well, and there's just like Colorado State, half the time it's either a sack or an interception or, some other type of negative play for Texas, then Wink Martindale has a chance because he's going to try to get 15 pressures on Texas and see if Quinn makes a bad play in 5 of them. And that could be the difference in the game because you point out, coach, they're going to limit your possessions if they can move the football. Mm-hmm. So if they can move the football, limit possessions, that means your margin for error shrinks considerably.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's shaping up to be a good one. It's a fun game to analyze. It's early and there's still a lot of unknowns out there. We're not real sure for, what we've got, and they're not sure what they've got yet. So
yeah,
taking Harbaugh out of there makes a big deal. Don't think it
makes
doesn't.
A huge difference. Yeah, it does, because he's the culture. He's the culture, man. They don't have that culture they had last year, and Texas may win this game with their culture because we heard Coach Sark talk a lot about that. All right, before we get out of here, let's thank our sponsor once again, our good friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is the best place to play fantasy sports, and it works really simply, folks. You can just download the Underdog app like I have. Got it on my phone right now. It takes no time at all, or you can go online. It takes, like I said, no time. It's really simple. You're playing their pick'em game. I can make picks, submit my entry in 60 to 90 seconds, or I can take all the time I want. I can dig deep, go down the rabbit hole, and make up to 8 picks in one single entry and win up to 325 times my money, folks. That's what you get with Underdog Fantasy. A ton of excitement for your sports viewing experience, especially for football, which is why I personally love it. And the best part is you can track your progress and update in real time. Also, folks, Underdog Fantasy has a great special happening right now. Use the promo code ONTexas for a first deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash plus a free pick. They also have an additional site-wide Travis Kelce free pick that you'll be able to take advantage of until the kickoff, which is tomorrow. So take advantage of it real quick while you can. Again, UnderdogFantasy.com. Use the promo code ONTexas right now for a first deposit offer of up to $1,000 and 2 free picks if you count the Travis Kelce free pick. That's Underdog Fantasy, our choice and the choice for daily fantasy. All right, Coach. Thank you. I appreciate it. You feeling confident in in Texas chances here?
I am.
Feeling confident? What do you fit? I am too.
I am.
I wonder if we're overconfident, but I am. I think I am. And by the way, Vegas is confident in the Longhorns too. I think they got them right now by 7.5 point favorite. So it seems like a lot of people are jumping on that bandwagon. All right, Coach. Thank you very much for the time. I appreciate it. I'm always smarter after better football theories after our conversations. Thank you to Matthew behind the scenes. Thank you to all you guys out there for watching and listening. And thank you to our friends at Underdog Fantasy. And until next time, hook 'em horns.